let us welcome in the two Amaras. Get dragged. Get dragged. Hello.
Sup.
What up, boys? Welcome back,
Yo,
Rogzuh.
yo.
So glad you can make
Thank
it.
you. Yes.
All right. You want to introduce yourselves?
Sure. I'm SBT. I was the rank 1 Mara in Season 2, and I'm currently pushing this Season 2 as Mara.
Hell yeah. All right.
Yeah. And I'm Rogzuh, and I mostly played during Season 1. I was rank 1 more during Season 1 for a long time. And then Season 2, I played for a couple of weeks. And for Season 3 now, I played a little bit, been talking a lot with SBT about Mora, and mostly was mainly me and SBT playing Mora. We had a couple others, but mostly us two.
All right. Ooh. I hear the
Yeah.
I hear the sound. Presentation? Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay.
All right. Take it away, boys.
Okay. Right. Let's get started with presentation. It's about Mara being bad. so
Always.
with regards to the popularity of this hero, these are the top Mara Godfather ones. As you can see, there's a high variety of players. Spoiler, there's not.
Okay.
These are the top 24 DPS players. Have fun finding a Mara here.
Yeah, I see none.
Now there is one.
That's one.
Oh, what?
There is one.
What the? Oh yeah, there he is. Okay, yeah. Shadow stepped into the roster, I see.
So, about the talents for Mara this season. These are our 3 core talents. Assassin's Guile gives you a damage increase after you leave stealth for like 5 GCDs. Deadly Scheme makes your next ability, gives 100% crit chance to your next ability. And Malevolence increases just your next finisher, right, which is either single target or AoE. The way Mara generally works is you want to stack all of 3 of them at once for the maximum damage, since they're all amplifying each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to do it during your damage amp buff, and if possible also maximize it during ult. This season we actually have to do quite a bit of math if you want to play it optimally.
Oh.
You have Deadly Scheme stacks. Each ability gives you a different amount of stacks. Then you have to do a bit of math. Right, this is like the 17 rule that I named it. If you start at 17, you always get like your perfect finisher hit. Same for single target. Depending on the rotation, you might have like these rules change. There are also different rules for different numbers. Also, Mara heavily depends this season on spirit. Right, she wants 50% spirit, which means a 33% crit rate. So your rotation will just change on the fly, which means you have something like this where you use 3 finishers in a row, and the question is, in which order do I have to hit them to correctly hit the Deathly Scheme proc, right, during stealth? So it's not always straightforward. You have to do a bit of counting on the fly as Mara. This is probably the real basis for the season. Macabre makes your 3-minute cooldown actually good and not completely useless. Sinner's Pride makes your Maidens, which is like your major ability, usable every like 23 seconds. This is the meta build for this season. Feed the Queen, probably Mara's actual signature ability, which gives her fun, which is extremely good and makes her very unique. These are the gems for a season. There's like really not much to talk about it. You can probably drop 6 purple in favor of 10 green, but yeah, there's not much more to it.
Is that mostly for the cooldown for the abilities or the expertise?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yes, for the cooldown. We will also see in just a moment for the blessings why. Majors, 4 out of 4 splinters is a must-have. 1 out of 4 emerald must-have. Heroics barely matters, honestly. You can like just pick whatever. Defensive is the same for everyone. I really like Martial Initiative. It works, right? This one, it works well with Sahil. since it gives you a damage amp, which if you have 2 of them, you have it for the entire of your ult, which is great. Vork also just generally a great major. Yes. So Mara is special because around every second GCD of her is actually a power ability. So this one just gives her a flat 10% crit increase without thinking about it in any way. Mystic, which is by the way currently bugged. So I think Mara logs. So we finished our Sans 62. I was like 10k above our Rhyme.
Yeah. Overall.
On the logs it shows on the logs it shows 2k, which is a bit weird. Like I had multiple of these situations, Rogzuh also. So I think it's also bugged for Mara right now.
Okay.
Just logs wise, like I think in game it does increase your damage still, but if you're looking at logs, there is a chance it's just bugged a little bit.
Yes, I counted correctly. Strange. Okay.
Yeah. Because I also had some occasions where I was beating my artists in game, like in game meters, and then when we went to logs, I lost like inside logs PS, which is weird, kind of, but
Yeah, that's when you played with Easy, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So every second GCD is a power ability. So Mystic obviously huge. Philosopher also huge. You use a major ability around every 23 seconds. So it's just amazing, obviously. Not much more to say about it. It's just. But also this means that Mara in this season has a lot of borrowed power. Like if they remove or greatly rework these talents, then Mara will lose a lot of power.
And also, if you don't have these, like when you're early game gearing, I remember this season, it just felt absolutely awful to play Mara because I felt like I was doing no damage. But when I got all my blessings and stuff, then you actually notice it, how much damage you were starting to do.
Yeah. One last point with regards to the talents. Feed the Queen is a core talent, right? This gives Safane, it's her identity talent. You can also go Corrosive Spill, which just is easier to play and gives you a lot more AoE without thinking much. The Method guys also advertise this one. I personally disagree. I don't think there's much point in it, but it's an option. Also, there's a discussion about Mainstorm and Venomous Delight. This one is pretty much the meta talent. But this one makes energy a non-issue. So, and they are both very close to each other. Like, if you don't want to deal with energy, you just want to think a bit less, then Venomous Delight is absolutely fine. Resources. Shindik's Mara Guide is probably the best resource there is. It's a really great overview for Mara. And I guess there's also the Method Guide, which is really good too.
Who wrote the Method Guide this season?
Wallach.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. The general points for Mara, there's a lot of them. Legendaries are just flat damage increases, which is why I'm not talking about them. They're boring. They don't do anything interesting. Okay. Mara has good pure single target damage, even if she doesn't get her funnel. Her on-demand damage for something like Godfall Totems, right, requires a bit of setup. Like, you have to think ahead for a long time. Like, what means long? But you can't just get good damage on something like that. I think she's absolute S tier, absolutely bis when she gets funnel, especially on boss. She's like, in my eyes, she's unbeatable. But her funnel must be utilized for her to be worthwhile on the high end. If you can't do that, if you can't route around her, she's not worth it. What I personally like about Mara are hero moments, like funnel on boss, but also certain funnel situations like the horror in Silken, where she can do things that no other hero besides maybe Adios can do, and it just personally feels really great to play. And not many heroes have something like that. Well, I mean, Rhyme has something like her heal, right? Which is very unique too. But yeah, that's what I really like about her. Also, she has a high skill floor and high skill ceiling, which is unfortunate, I guess, because beginners always have a really rough time with her. Her ult is amazing. She can just melt things. Also things like Ira, she can just absolutely melt. She's RNG dependent this season because she has a lot of spirit procs this time, especially during her ult. She has the worst mobility CD in the game. I will talk about it in more detail shortly. Her stun is just a net negative. It doesn't do anything. It's bad. Haste doesn't do anything. It's bad. She's melee. Melee bad. It's all bad. Now, the elephant in the room, hemotoxin. Everyone has heard about it. It was bugged. It was hotfixed, I think, 5 times or 4 times.
I think it was fixed 3 times in one day.
Yes, and it was
Which is
still bugged.
crazy.
They still had to hotfix it on the very next day. It was horrible.
I've seen the clip from Legnog. Yeah, it. Holy fuck.
I will talk shortly about but so hemotoxin or bleed Mara has generally the same strengths as finisher Mara, just to a lesser degree. She also has good prio that just comes passively, and she has really good AoE. Like, she's still viable, just sadly no one actively plays her on the high end. This is an excerpt from one of the bleed Mara rotations.
Yeah.
If you enjoy this type of stuff, give her a try. Have fun.
Okay.
The talents, that's one of the biggest issues with Bleed Mara. Especially these two ones are very, these are just passive increases. Like, Blood Rush increases the tick rate. Red Ledger gives you a crit per applied bleed.
Crit per bleed you have on.
That's just boring, right? In comparison, for finisher Mara, all 3 of these talents have an actual gameplay relevance. Like, they actually change your gameplay. These 2 Bleed Mara talents don't do anything. Yeah, and these 2 are the core. Actually, Rogzuh just told me about it, and I agree. Sinner's is also a core ability, effectively.
What Sinners does is it reduces your Maiden's ability, CD of it, so you're able to press it every 20 seconds ish. And what Gushing Blood does is that whenever you have your Maiden's ability on, your bleed spreads to, I think it's 4 extra targets. So that's why it's kind of must to play Sinners, right? To have low CD, so you're able to spread your bleeds easier.
Okay.
Yeah. And all you do in this build is you wait for hemotoxin procs and you press your bleed ability. That's it. I won't talk much more about it.
Fuck.
About Mara pain points. So you can already see the issue here.
What the fuck?
That's what you have to constantly deal with. Is a bunch of debuffs on targets. You just can't see stuff, right? It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Find the cast.
Yeah, and yeah. Also, about quality of life improvements for Mara. Focus target is a very important one. So this here is from Season 2, and this Venom Drinker here was my priority target, right? The one I'm actually focusing. This Bully Basher here is my interrupt target. This Kidnapper here is my stun target, right? Okay. So I have to cross-eye on this pull. I have to mouse over stun, which is horrible with these nameplates. And as you can see, during a pull, things move around like crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to constantly cross-eye and keep track of everything. You have to also keep track of your buffs here down here, obviously. It's just horrible. Giving Mara focus target would make her stun so much better to use, so much more just enjoyable to use. It's absolutely necessary. I hope the devs implement it.
Okay.
Yes. The other pain point, Shadow Step, which is the worst mobility CD in the game by a large margin.
Okay.
You can Shadow Step on the target, which is not yourself, so you're dependent on the positioning of other people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Let's take this example here, right?
Yeah.
You have 2 ugly mobs here.
Yeah.
And right, and you have your group.
Yeah.
Right. So let's say ugly mob number 1 is frontaling your tank, which is the basic. Right? And ugly mob number 2 is doing some weird targeting on your rhyme.
Yeah.
Now, and let's say you have to move out immediately for whatever reason, right? There are a billion reasons for that. You cannot shadow step here because you just insta die, right? You also cannot shadow step here because your rhyme will most likely dash out at the last possible second. And the issue being, your rhyme is not in your field of view. So not only are you dependent on the positioning of others, right, with your mobility, also it's highly restrictive, so because effectively only these two are your possible targets. But also, it's not even your field of view. So whether or not you can successfully use your mobility CD depends on your teammates. They are effectively doing the thing for you. And like, yeah, it's not in your field of view. So you kind of have to guess to some degree in some moments how you're properly utilizing your mobility CD. One suggestion that has been made in the Mara channel is to make it like a clone, for example, which you can like drop somewhere, right? And then when you press your ability again, you can like teleport to your clone.
Yeah. Okay.
This would make it, I think, way more fun to use. I mean, actually enjoyable to use. And you would be responsible for your mobility usage
Yeah.
and not your goddamn teammates.
Yeah, because the Warlocks in WoW has that ability, and it's kind of good, right?
Yes.
Okay.
These are like probably the two biggest pain points for Mara right now, in my viewpoint. Surprising things. I could think of two things. You should never waste combo points. Never ever. No matter how bad your spirit procs are in general. Single target and AoE abilities have different ranges, right? So if you, for example, have to move out of range for like the golem that does his AoE, you can like move your rotation in a way where when you have to move out, you use your AoE abilities that have a higher range. So you don't lose uptime. These are like 2 points that I've wanted to mention.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it for my Mara Bad presentation. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Round of applause. Very good. Very nice. Oh, there you go. Okay, cool. Somebody's asking in chat if you'll show some rotations because he's kind of lost. I don't know if we have time for that, or if you had to like boot up the game. Because I'm guessing that. Oh, you're already in. Good. We have time.
Rotation. Wait, let me. So for a beginner, definitely watch the Shindy guide. It has timestamps. There's a timestamp about Malevolence specifically. It's like around 10 minutes. It gives you a great overview. Shindy guide is just great.
I'll find it quick and link it as well.
Yeah, like Bleed Mara opener, you go, right, you stealth, you apply your poison, you do your single target finisher, single target, bleed, stealth, AoE, then you triple weave. Yeah, I know it's like hard to explain out of context.
Basically, the main point is that when you're in AoE situation, you want to press 2 single target finishers before you go into your stealth window, your assassin's guile window. So you have 2 stacks of your AoE malevolence buff. Malevolence makes your next finisher do 100% more damage, whatever stacks you have on. So basically, you get 2 of the good buffs by pressing 2 of the bad spells away. When you are in AoE, you press 2 single target finishers, so you get 2 AoE finisher stacks. Then you go into your stealth window, your Assassin's Guile window, which gives you 40% more damage during 5 seconds after you get out of stealth. And during those 5 seconds, your goal is to use the 2 stacks of Malevolence buff you got previously.
Yes.
And you also try to line up Deadly Scheme inside that window. So, and what Deadly Scheme is that it makes your next finisher crit 100%.
Yeah. Someone said in chat, yeah, it's the basics, but the basics remain the same. Just the things that have changed this season is the way you have to think about Deadly Scheme and Spirit procs, how you react to Spirit procs, right? So if I press my single target finisher, you can see I get an AoE stack. Now it's empowered, my AoE. So when it's empowered, I want to combine it with my stealth buff, right? Assassin's Guile. And with my Deadly Scheme, as you can see here, that I've also hit in that window. And that's all that Finisher Mara's about. Right? Stack up as many empowering buffs as possible. Right? Here, first AoE, I get Deadly Scheme. Second AoE with Assassin's Guile. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Would you say you said earlier that Mara is like has a really high skill ceiling. But does the
Yes.
skill like requirements like come down to talents and legendary? Because you said legendaries are boring, but does it change like the way you play the game just a little bit if you change talents as well?
When you change talents, so you have your Feed the Queen, right? For each target hit, it empowers your single target finisher.
Mhm.
So whenever you press your which you will do, you will always press your single target finisher so you can empower your AoE finisher.
Mhm.
And right, so if you have Feed the Queen, you definitely want to make sure you actually have it up when you press your single target finisher, since it greatly increases the damage. That definitely changes. Corrosive Spill, if you play that, it's just passive. You don't have to think about anything really. The legendaries, they don't do anything. Like, so we have the ring. So our ring gives us for each spirit proc, it gives us expertise for like 8 seconds. And the only optimization that I at least ever did with it was to fish for a proc before I ult, right? So I'm writing for spirit proc before I ult, so I get the expertise buff, and then I ult. But that's it. There's nothing more for legendaries for Mara.
Okay.
And I think set items wise, if you play the Sithril set, you kind of also want to wait for that proc to hit before you go into your ulti, if it's possible.
Yes. Right, this is this one, the dragon here. Yeah, that's also a good point. We play the gem set, right? The Hesky set, just like everyone else.
Yeah.
We play the Death's Grasp, just like everyone else. We play Ransack, just empowered ults, which is great.
Mhm.
And this one is optional, I guess, the Cypherus set that Rogzuh just mentioned. But playing with sets is obviously great, right? Since it strongly decreases the amount of RNG of the loot for you.
Yeah. What about the neck traits? Is there anything like big changes between what neck traits are good, or is it like Abyss? Is it just Boar and Mountain, or?
Definitely, like it strongly depends. So you can see I have 4 necks. No, 3. Okay, I only have 3 right now in my inventory. So the default is, where's my default neck? Yeah, this is the default, right? Mountain Beetle.
Yeah.
Depending on the dungeon, you will need Lake, just Lake. But depending on a different dungeon, like the 63 Rave Tide, you will need Shadow and Lake.
Okay.
So
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, is it interesting? Yes. Does it require an obscene amount of farming? Yes.
Yep.
Because you need 3 different necks, all with the same rolled, like in my case,
Bruh.
Ruby on it,
Yeah.
with the correct substat rolled on it.
Dude, let us buy fucking legendary dust or give us options when we use it, dude. Holy
Yeah.
fuck.
Also, I think there's one neck trait what is kind of decent on some situations when you go high enough. It's the Dune, which makes your wall, your defensive, give you 40% magic DR also,
Ooh.
which
Okay.
is kind of strong in, let's say, like Ransack, when you have to soak. Sands, it's decent.
Mhm.
I don't know if you have it there, SBT, but I feel like I gained some value off of that neck trait also. And one rotational thing I can still think of on the top of my head. If you go to talent, swapping Maiden's Doom to Venomous Delight. SVT was talking about this earlier. When you play Venomous Delight, you don't need to really worry about your energy region poison. Can't remember what it's called. See, do you remember the poison you put with your Widow's Bite?
Yeah, it's in your poison that gets applied by your skittering blades.
Yeah, that gives you more. No, your Widow's Bite.
That one too, yes. Both.
Yeah, that gives you a lot of energy. So you don't really need to worry about that one if you play Venomous Delight. But if you play Maiden's Doom, you need to have uptime on that poison also.
Yeah, with Maiden's Doom, your AoE rotation changes because you will actually press Widow's Bite and AoE. But as we said, like Venomous Delight, if you play Finisher Mara somewhat correctly, it's still doing great damage. Oh yeah, that it's something I forgot. I mean, I mentioned it, right? I called her S tier. Like, I genuinely think she's really, really good this season.
But conditional, right?
Yeah. Your group, you have to route with her in mind, but generally possible in every dungeon.
All right. We have like a minute. Anything like very short you could mention as well, like quality of life or something you want to get off?
You mentioned the shadows.
You
Yeah,
also
yeah.
mentioned the stand also.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ranged. Thank you. Range. So this is not only for us, but also for tanks. So during a pull, which I've shown in one of my slides.
Ugly
Um,
Bob one and two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, things move around like crazy, and what happens really often for melee and obviously for tank also is a mob that you're not targeting, but is your focus target, is just out of your kick range. This happens so like just giving it one more yard would be a great quality of life, similar to the stun, right? Like I'm targeting this mob and my actual stun target just moved out of my range,
Oh yeah.
and then I could miss the stun, right? And it's confusing during the heat of the situation.
Wait, is your melee range further than your stun?
No, I think it's both 5 yards. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
But the AoE one is a bit higher, so if
Okay.
you ever have to move out of range, right?
But that's the time we have. But thank you so much. That's very okay. That was good. I will remember this presentation for the rest of my life. Thank you both for being here. It was true pleasure. And I'll shout you both out when I think we already did. I'll do it again. Thank you for joining.
Thank you very much for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Take care, boys.
Yep.
Take care.
You too.
Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Get out of here.